Hey, what's up everybody? Dinosaur Studio here with another tutorial. Today I'm going to teach you how to make your very own Webtoon by setting it up in a program I like to use a lot called Procreate. Procreate is $10 on the App Store, and I've been using it for about 5 years now. It's been a real game changer for me. It's not quite perfect for, a professional level comic with like word bubbles and word balloons in the same sense as Clip Studio Paint. But I like it enough because it helps get the job done easily and quickly. And today I'm going to show you how to set up your very own comic page so you can just get started with making your very first webcomic. All of these are examples from my latest comic, Poem of Light, which I released on Webtoons earlier this year, or I guess rather last year. Now I'm going to make a new canvas by hitting the plus button, and I'm going to hit this new canvas size again. And we're going to make one that's 3200 by 4800. This will give us a maximum of 30 layers to work with, and the DPI is at 27, which is good enough for what we're going to do today. As you can see, it already makes the screen size, the size of the canvas, and we have a nice large workspace to work with. So you might be asking why this particular size. So in Webtoons, whenever you're uploading your panels or your pages, they're each going to be, around maybe this size, which is 800 by, I believe it's 1200. And on this, oh, that's way too big for what we have here. Anyhow, that's the rough size. Boop, 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 deleting all that. So I've basically made a row of 4 of these. Oh no, that was so bad. 1, 2, close enough, 3, 4. And these can each hold up to 1, 2, 3, 4 of those Webtoon pages. I like to think of each page as like one screen size worth. So you might be able to fit, say, 1.5, one full, or maybe even 2 smaller panels per chunk. And that just gives your webcomic some readability. So let's delete all this. Okay, well I'm going to start with a new layer, and I'm going to go up to my selection tool at the top left, and I'm going to hit rectangle. And I'm going to just kind of draw, there we go, until it looks about right, and I'm going to fill it in with a solid color. Oh, I guess I didn't get quite all the way, but that's okay. I can go to freeform, and I can move it down along here. So the main thing we want to make sure of is that 4 of these will fit in here. There's a lot of math you can do. You can even make your own not make your own calculator, that's what I was going to say. You can take a calculator and get the exact size, but basically you want to make sure that each width is around 800 pixels. Duplicate that. And if you're wondering how I'm duplicating, I'm clicking the layer, sliding it to the left, and the duplicate window pops up. Duplicate, lock, or delete. We want to duplicate it. So I didn't actually need to duplicate the last one. I just wanted to show you that I would be doing it like that. So there's a little bit more exact method that you can do, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I just kind of want to show you the basics. And right now I'm going to make them all different colors, so we can also see the difference. Okay, so we have basically our 4 sections, more or less, and from here I can actually group them all and use that as a guide layer. We can actually adjust them individually, like with their opacity, by hitting the N option underneath them. And let's see, if I flatten it, then I can actually change the opacity for the whole thing. There we go. So I have a rough idea of where I want my panels to be per page. Alright, so the next part is blocking out where you're going to put your panels. What I like to do is, choose a color. It can be any color. And then I go to the selection tool, hit rectangle again, and I take a look at my thumbnails, and then I decide, hey, this is where I want the panel to go, or the panels to go. So I just made one selection here. I can make another here, and here as well. Maybe I want like a really big opening shot. I can make it exactly just as big as, or wide as the guide layer. And I can keep doing the same thing over and over again here, keeping in mind that the bottom will connect to the top if I, don't make a differentiation. So I'm going to carefully just block in a bunch of where I'd think the panels would go. Might have another longish one here. And it's okay if like the sides touch or whatever, because there's other ways you can get around that, which I can show you later. But for the most part, this is how we're gonna set up our panels. Okay, so now all of our panels are roughly set up. Now all you have to do is fill them in with a color. That way they're established as a layer, and then we can later use this to clip all of our drawings. Inks, colors, effects, sound effects, anything can be clipped into these once we have these all filled in. That's actually one of my favorite reasons to use Procreate, is just the easy nature of using clipping masks and stuff like this. Okay, cool. I'm deselecting everything. Now we have our very bright, very vibrant backgrounds, which if I use 2 fingers and swipe to the right, I can alpha lock it, and I can draw anything I want on top of them, and it would only draw in the pink layer itself. Now, if I didn't do that, I would be getting an additional pink layer and etc. everywhere else. So this is what the layer that I like to do my backgrounds on. So I swipe to the right, and then I go to my favorite, brush. Let's try my snatty brushes. I zoom in over here, and I'll do a big green, wow, that's really green, land. It's, a soft brush, doesn't do much. Okay. To make this a little bit more friendly, I might actually have to think of what colors to use. Okay, but there we go. Now you kind of see, you can even block in, instead of, the bright pink, if you're in an outdoor setting, you can use bright blue in all of them, etc. You can also just drag and drop and change these whenever you want. Alright, well now let's get on to an inking layer. Or maybe a sketching layer for the sake of this tutorial, because it operates pretty much the same way. Okay, so we're on a different layer. I hit the plus button to make a new layer. And over in the top left, I'm going to sketch out my thumbnail. Here is Angry Man being angry. Grrr. And I can also block out where the text bubble will be. Close up on his extra angry face. Fire. Angriness. Conversation from behind. Where's my money? Excellent. And then now we have the full body shot. I will never forgive you. You stole all my money. Okay, and now all we have to do is hit the layer once with a finger, and we're going to hit clipping mask, and now all of a sudden everything fits neatly into the section below it. You can also do this with the color layer as well. Let's try maybe a regular studio pen. Studio pen is what I use, I would say, most often. So right now it's just a regular layer, and I'm going to give Angry Man his beautiful hair. and angry red body. Okay, I think you get the idea. Just drag that color in, and maybe in this thing he has an angry beard, who knows. This is a very well thought out comic, by the way. And it will work the same way. Even though it's a layer above the clipped layer, if you hit the layer again and hit clipping mask, it'll also adhere to the bottom. But if you want pretend this one is the ink layer to show on top, then you would drag that above it, and you see there's two little arrows pointing downwards into the layer below. One last thing, we can make our text layers pretty easily. I like to use white just for this example. I can draw my gorgeous text bubbles and text yelling bubbles on top. And these, I want them to exist outside of the panel, so I will not clip them. What I will do is go over to the Actions panel, which is the little wrench icon, hit the Add tab, and then do Add Text. And then I can write my angry man speech. You stole my money! Exclamation mark. And we're gonna hit this top right AA button, which will help us do some settings on the type. So I might have, it looks like I have to select everything first before I can adjust the size. And then I can, even adjust the opacity if I wanted to. The baseline, the leading, which in this case would work to make everything fit better. And on the left here, I can scroll and look through all my fonts. I want to do Anime Ace. Oh, I probably gotta move that that leading back up. And since that text was white, I will select black instead. It's still too big. Let's say, okay, 105, why not? I can click out of it and then place my text right then and there. Boom! And there you have it. This is how you make your beautiful first comic.